He has more than 17 years of experience in audio signal processing, having worked in different parts of the world. He is currently leading algorithm development team in SLSI division and has extensive experience in the software development for the digital audio and speech domain. Some of the algorithms developed by him are being used in world's leading mobile phones in the market today. He completed his education from Triple IT MK Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala, and Government College of Engineering Kannur, Kerala. Welcome, Mr. Satish, to the event. I'll hand over the screen to you now.
Thank you. Are we ready to start?
Mr. Satish, I think you are not audible.
You're audible, sir.
Still not audible?
You are.
Okay. So, are we ready to start now?
Yes, we can start.
Screen is visible now.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, so the topic today is challenges in acoustic echo cancellation implementation. That is, with the increased popularity and the need for working remotely, the use of teleconferencing systems have increased significantly. So, it is very important to have a good quality call facility to have good quality calls to make the user's experience pleasant and productive. The degradation of call quality due to acoustic echoes is one of the major sources of poor quality in the conference calls. So there is need for a faster and more reliable acoustic echo cancellation algorithm, and that's what we are going to discuss today. Basically, we will discuss what are the classic methods available and what are their limitations, and uh, what is the current research that is happening to overcome this problem. So, what is echo? Echo is a person listening to his or her own voice, a delayed, distorted version during the conversation. So, this echo can happen in two ways: line echo and acoustic echo. The line echoes happen in telephone lines where hybrid circuits are used to convert four-wire networks to two-wire ones. And line echo is of relatively shorter duration, 20 to 30 milliseconds. So with 8 kilohertz sample rate being used in the telephone lines, this will correspond to 240 filter taps. So and it also depends on the ERLE, echo return loss enhancement that we want. But line echoes are can be solved relatively straightforward with the help of classical echo cancellation method. On the other hand, the acoustic echo. What is acoustic echo? Acoustic echo arises when a loudspeaker and a microphone are coupled in a communication system, such that the microphone picks up the loudspeaker signal plus its reverberation. So, if not properly handled, user at the other end of the system hears his or her own voice, delayed by the run trip time of the system, mixed with the signal from the near end. So this echo must be cancelled to prevent feedback to the foreign speaker. The microphone also picks up near-end speaker speeds and possible background noise. So the ultimate goal of the AEC, acoustic echo cancellation, is to completely remove the foreign signal and the background noise, so that only the near-end speech is sent to the foreign. from the speech separation point of view, AEC can be considered as a separation problem, where the near end speech is a source to be separated from the microphone recording that is sent to the far end. Since even smaller acoustic echo picked up by the microphone in a receiving room may be very annoying and it can significantly deteriorate the quality of speech signal. So there is a need for a good acoustic echo cancellation solution uh, in the teleconference systems today. So what are the classical acoustic echo cancellation method? We will do a quick recap of what are the classical methods. So echo cancellation is achieved by identifying the echo path and subtracting an estimate of the echo signal uh, from the microphone signal. This is done by using the output of a filter that attempts to match the teleconference system or loudspeaker enclosure system, as it is called in literature. Since this system is changing constantly, the filter has to be adaptive. And so the far end signal is also called the far end signal is also called reference signal here, and am I audible?
Uh, yes, you are audible.
Okay. So the far end signal is also called the reference signal, and the echo path generated from signal can be modeled as a filter. Normally we use finite impulse response filter, FIR filter here. So the signal adds to microphones. The echo signal adds to the microphone signal uh, together with the near end speech. So the microphone signal can be modeled as a sum of the near end speech and the filtered far end speech. The filter coefficients are the impulse response of the echo path or the room. And to remove the echo signal, the echo estimate is calculated by identifying the coefficients of an FIR filter. The error signal can be obtained by subtracting the echo estimate from the microphone signal. For an optimal error criteria, normally the least mean square error is used. So the famous LMS algorithm is uh, it the invention of the LMS algorithm was a breakthrough moment in the echo for the methods to achieve adaptive uh, uh, filtering and acoustic echo cancellation. So what is an adaptive filter? An adaptive filter is a computational device that attempts to model the relationship between the two signals in real time in an iterative manner. And this filter is used to reshape an input signal such a way that its output is a good estimate of the given desired signal. Here the input is the microphone signal and desired signal is the near end speech. So the FIR filters, and as I told you, FIR filters are used in the implementation of adaptive filters because of their stability and the availability of uh, algorithms that converge easily. So here this error signal, uh, the microphone signal is compared with the the desired signal, that is near end speech, to compute the error signal. This error signal is but a procedure which alters or adapts the filter coefficients from time to time in a well-defined manner according to the algorithm being used. The optimum coefficients are obtained by minimizing the mean squared error. So the least mean square algorithm uses the instantaneous values of the square of the error as an estimate. but this LMS algorithm is sensitive to scaling of the input. So, and this makes it very hard to choose a scalar gain that is used in the LMS equation that guarantees stability of the algorithm. So there is a modification to the LMS algorithm that is practically used, that is NLMS, normalized LMS. This solves this problem by normalizing with the power of the input, such that the effective update gain is varies with the variance of the input. The main disadvantage of LMS algorithm is that the convergence behavior is highly dependent on the power spectral density of the filter input. And the filter input is white, power spectrum is white across a whole range of frequencies. The LMS algorithm converges very fast. However, when certain bands of the frequencies are not uh, well excited, or the energy in the signal energy in those bands is relatively low, the convergence is slow. To converge fast, the LMS algorithm requires equal excitation over the whole range of frequencies. The solution is to divide the frequency band of the input signal into a number of subbands and achieve a degree of signal widening using power normalization mechanism before applying the adaptive algorithm. But even with this modification to the LMS algorithm, uh, the result from this linear acoustic echo cancellation always includes a certain amount of residual echo. So there are alternative methods like RLS, recursive least square algorithm, uh, or affine projection. Here in the RLS algorithm, acoustic echo processing can handle uh, correlated signals very well. Since this algorithm has a built-in decorrelation property. But this involves inversion of the short-term correlation matrix of the input signal. And during the computation, there is a possibility that the correlation matrix becomes simpler because of the characteristics of the input signal or because of the estimation procedure. So the procedure can become unstable. The RLS algorithm can become unstable during the processing. So to stabilize this RLS algorithm, it may be necessary to revise the technique with a long memory, but this may cause problems in tracking when the system to be identified changes, when the person moves from one room to another. Or so the affine projection algorithm is a balance between the LMS and RLS. Like the but this affine projection algorithm also requires matrix inversion, but its numerical complexity is lower than that of RLS algorithm. Okay, so with these adaptive algorithms, when the error signal uh, from the adaptive filter suddenly rises, it is because of one of the two possible scenarios. That is, a local speaker has started talking, or a local noise has started, or the local speaker has changed his position and thus changed the room impulse response. In the when if it is due to the local speaker start talking, then the adaptation must be frozen. And in the second case, that is, if there is change in the room impulse response, then the adaptation has to be opened up as much as possible. So the adaptive filter mechanism will require additional information to handle these situations. That is where the two other blocks shown in the diagram come into play. So that's a double talk detector. So the term double talk here describes the periods in which both the local and remote communication system partners speak at the same time. So the double talk is inherent in communication system, since there are occasions where both speakers may be speaking simultaneously. It occurs often. Then the presence of this near and speed signal severely degrades the convergence of the adaptive algorithms and cause them to converge, cause them to diverge. So here it is difficult to predict when the adaptation of the filter should stop or slow down. So it is important to know near and speed signal exists or not in the presence of a foreign signal. So in case of this double talk, the error signal will contain both echo estimation error and the near and speed signal. So when we use this signal for updating the filter coefficient, the filter will diverge, and as a result, the echo cancellation performance will get degraded. So to overcome this problem, we need to have a double talk detector. So whenever double talk periods are detected, the echo process for estimating the echo path is stopped, and the filter coefficients are not updated. The double talk detection based on normalized correlation coefficients is the most well-known approach to find these double talk intervals. That is the method most commonly used. And this non-linear processor cancels the residual echo in the absence of near and speed signal to some extent, thus recovering thus removing any residual echo. This and it will insert a form of comfort noise to give the impression to the foreign that the line is still active. And both the adaptive filter and the non-linear processor require the double talk detector to work properly. And another challenge here is for the reasonable performance of the acoustic echo cancellation algorithms, the length of the adaptive filter should be long enough to consider most of the echo signal. Or the long filters demand computational complex also increases the computational complexity. We have to perform the filtering in the frequency domain with overlap add or overlap save method. So to alleviate this problem, there are techniques that use the time or frequency domain similar to spectral subtractive algorithms in the noise suppression. So here, instead of computing the echo path directly, method spectral modification based on spectral subtractive or linear filtering are used. Here the echo estimation can be seen as a problem to calculate the near end signal from the microphone signal. So by obtaining an estimate of the short time for a transform of the echo signal, estimate of the short time for a transform of the near end signal can be recovered. And here also, similar to the spectral subtraction algorithm in the noise suppression, the phase information of the echo signal is not available. So we will have to use the phase information of the microphone signal itself. And the assumption here is that the assumption here is that the microphone signal and the echo signal are not correlated. We can we can obtain an estimate of the near and speed signal spectrum by subtracting the instantaneous power spectrum of the echo signal from the that of the microphone signal. And here, here also there will be musical noise problem similar to the noise suppression using the spectral subtractive algorithm. So we need to take care of the musical noise that can arise here. So those are the algorithms that is common that we can call as classical algorithms. But with these classical echo cancellation methods, the echo cancellation that we can achieve is limited. That is, there will always remain some amount of residual echo. This is because the echo signal captured in the microphone are not in a linear relationship with the foreign signal, even when the echo path is linear. The power amplifiers and loudspeakers, the cheap quality of the power amplifiers and loudspeakers used in being in use is one of the chief reason for this. So the non-linear components of the echo cannot be successfully eliminated by these classical echo cancellation methods that we have described until now. And another problem with the classical echo cancellation methods is the insufficient length of the filter compared to the echo duration. So we will have to use a residual echo suppression method to eliminate the non-linear components present in the echo. And for this, in the classical methods, we will use a filter. And the transfer function of this filter is adapted according to a spectrum of the speech signal. For this, again, Wiener filtering or spectral subtraction methods is used to calculate the spectral gain to suppress the echo. And in this way, the monophonic echo cancellation, that is single channel, single mic echo cancellation, is can be eliminated almost completely with the classical echo cancellation method. But with the advent of teleconferencing systems for communication between groups of people or multi-speaker condition conference system, this acoustic echo cancellation on multi-channel environment is necessary, and this stereophonic channel is the minimum case of the environment. That is, there will be more than one channel and there will be more than one mic. And if we use two adaptive filters to model, suppose there are two channels or two input signals here. So if we use two adaptive filters to model the two echo paths in the receiving row, the both signals may be fully dependent on each other, because the speech signal that is coming to the two mics will be some correlation, even though the noise has no correlation. Speech signal will have some correlation, and so the optimal settings of the filter coefficients of the adaptive filter for the two mics are not unique, and this leads to the uniqueness problem. That is, not only the adaptation algorithm must track the variations in the receiving room, it must also track the variations in the transmission room. And it is difficult to track the variations in the transmission location if one talker stops talking and another starts talking at a different location. The impulse response changes abruptly by large amounts. So there is the multi mic or multi-channel environment. The challenge is to devise an algorithm that can converge independently of variations in the transmission room. So to solve this problem, in the classical literature, several methods had been proposed, like signal decorrelation method, or addition of random noise, decorrelation filters, interchannel frequency shifting, and interleaving comb filters. But these techniques are not satisfactory to obtain both the reduction of the misalignment and the perceptual improvement of the filtered speech. So rather than using these techniques, deep learning methods have been are the current state of the art to solve these problems in a multi-channel, multi-mic environment. So initially there were suggestions for a hybrid method where we will combine classical method with the neural network method based method, where the classical linear AEC will remove the acoustic echo, the linear components, and for the residual echo present in after that we will use a neural network. So, but these methods are mainly available only for synthetic data sets, not for the real world. That is one of the limitation of these methods. So one such structure is shown here. Here there is an input layer, two hidden layers, and an output layer. Each hidden layer node represents a weighted sum of the hidden layer outputs and bias values, and this F represents here the feature vector. The feature used here is an average of all subbands up to half of the current subband. For each subband, we will compute the average up to all subbands up to half of that subband. So for the ket subband, this feature vector can be defined as 1 divided by k by 2 sigma na equal to 1 up to k by 2 mod of x and k, where x is the DFT of the input. And why this feature is used here, because of the observation that nonlinear components in subband k are in any given subband k are likely to get generated from input magnitudes in subband up to k by 2, and less if they represent higher order harmonics. So this model can be thought of as a generalization of the linear relationship between the reference signal and the residual echo magnitude. And this, however, we will require an online adaptation to achieve a feasible estimation of the residual echo here. So we will use a scalar factor and it will start with the this estimation, and assumption here is that the ratio between linear and non-linear components for each frequency band are not strongly dependent on the acoustic environment. So for the weight updation, we will use a LMS-like algorithm that will be operated by estimating weights in single talk periods using the adaptive update, like LMS algorithm. Now, but the current state of the art, as I told earlier, for both non-linear echo cancellation as well as double talk detection and effective handling of double talk scenarios is, as well as multi-channel, multi-mic scenarios is deep learning based solution. So the ultimate goal of the acoustic echo cancellation is to completely remove the foreign signal and the background noise, so that only the near-end speech is sent to the far end. From the speech separation point of view, as I had told earlier, the AEC can be considered as a separation problem, where the near-end speech is a source to be separated from microphone recording and sent to the far end. So instead of estimating the acoustic echo path, we will apply supervised speech separation to separate the near end speech from the microphone signal with the accessible far end speech as the additional information. So, uh, one such network is illustrated here. So, deep learning is performing well with the speech separation task through the ability of recurrent neural networks to model time varying functions. So the most the one of the most successful network that is being used in acoustic echo cancellation systems is the bidirectional long short time memory (BLSTM) recurrent neural network. So it is a variant of the recurrent RNN recurrent neural network that is developed to deal with vanishing and exploding problems of the traditional RNNs. So uh, uh, so here for this network that is shown here as an example, the feature extraction is performed such that the input signal is sampled at 16 kilohertz and divided into 20 millisecond frames with a 10 millisecond overlap. Then a 320 point short time Fourier transform is applied to each frame of the input signal, and it will result in 161 frequency bands. As features of microphone signal and foreign signal are concatenated as the input features. Therefore, the input size will be 322. And ideal ratio mask is used as the training target here. So, which can be defined as the square root of energy of the near end signal divided by the sum of the energy of near end signal, acoustic echo, and background noise. And the same network can be applied to the multi-channel, multi-mic scenario also. So in the multi-channel, multi-mic scenarios, the model is exposed to signals picked up by the two microphones or all the microphones, and the model trained in this way is able to achieve echo removal by both microphones in the or all microphones in the system. And the performance metrics normally used for echo cancellation is the ERLE, the echo return loss enhancement, and for single talk periods, and for periods with and for when there is double talk, perceptual evaluation of speech called PESQ is used, and ERLE is used to evaluate the echo attenuation achieved by system when measured in a quiet room with no background noise and only for single talk scenarios. On the other hand, for double talk scenarios, we estimate PESQ by comparing the estimate of the near end speech and the range, the more the value of PESQ, the better. And one dataset that is commonly used in deep learning based acoustic echo cancellation is a TAMIT dataset. And, okay, so any questions?
Those who have questions can raise their hand and unmute themselves and then ask the questions. So there doesn't seem to be any questions from the audience.
Okay, so So for further, so these are some of the good reference in the topic. That is, this first reference is describes the model that I described here. It is based on that paper, and uh, this BLSTM network is one of the network that is performing really well with multi-channel, multi-mic scenarios, and uh, uh, and also there is a interspeech competition this year on this same topic, acoustic echo cancellation. So we are all awaiting for the results of that to get further insight into the deep learning based acoustic echo cancellation. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, Mr. Satish, for such a wonderful and informative talk. So there is a question by Vishnu. Vishnu, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, when we're talking about echo cancellation, where exactly are we implementing it in hardware?
Uh, it can be implemented either hardware or software, but what I have seen is mostly it is implemented in software.
Okay. Uh, okay. Thank you.
So, so the up to 2013, 2014, the classic methods along with the post filter to remove the residual echo suppression was mostly used. So the most common algorithm used in practical scenarios in the with the classical methods is NLMS, normalized LMS, and there will be a post filter frequency domain post filter added to deal with the uh, residual echo that will use Wiener filter, or in some cases the spectral subtraction with the facility to remove the musical tones. That was used, but with the advent of deep learning after 2016 or so, nowadays deep learning based methods are now on the use of deep learning methods are on the rise, and they are becoming the state of the art. So classical methods may get lesser use in the future.
One more question is that when you say echo cancellation, you're meaning to say that it is on the microphone, I mean speaker to microphone and or listening to that. I mean outcome of.
Yes, yeah. So it is to prevent you from listening to your own voice, and also
So
it is to make it is part of the speech enhancement to make the speech more clean.
So basically, in I mean, tele meetings that you mentioned. So when we speak, that will
Other,
be,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Without acoustic echo cancellation, there will be the voice again reflecting back to you, your own voice, and also there will be howling also.
So all these algorithms will be running backend, right, on the like platform, which is, for
Yes.
example, yeah. Okay, okay, thanks, thank you.
Any more questions from the audience?
Mr.
Yes,
Satish,
Pratik, please go ahead and ask.
hi. I'm curious on what your thoughts are about how these deep learning methods tackle the whole adaptiveness of the echo filter, the echo paths. Given that the number of conditions you would need to cover, how does uh, that how is that handled by these deep neural networks?
So here in the deep learning networks, what we will do is an echo signal is generated by convolving the loudspeaker signal with a room impulse response filter. Then the echo, near speech, and background noise are mixed to generate a microphone signal. Then supervised this we can be considered as a supervised speech separation problem. So the feature extracted from the microphone signal and echo are fed to this network. Then the estimated magnitude spectrogram of neural signal is obtained by pointwise multiplying the estimated mask with the spectrogram of the microphone signal. And finally, inverse short time Fourier transform is applied to resynthesize the estimated neural speech from microphone signal.
Again, in terms of like interspeech that you mentioned, there's a huge data set available. What, in your experience, what kind of data set sizes are sufficient to train these echo models, if I were to use that loosely?
So we can use say 100 pairs of speaker from the for example, let's take the TI-MIT dataset. So there are 630 speakers in the dataset. So maybe we can randomly choose 100 pairs of speakers as the near and far speakers, and then there are 10 utterances sampled at 16 kilohertz for each speaker for training purpose.
Thank you. I'm just being a little selfish and trying to lay some foundation for my talk next. So thank you for answering those questions.
Any more questions? Okay, so there doesn't seem to be any more questions. Thank you, Mr. Satish, for such a wonderful and informative talk. On behalf of IEEE IISc ComSoc, I would like you to accept this plaque as a token of our appreciation for taking time of your busy schedule and delivering this talk. Thank you.